Okay, topic of the day is on fear and being scared. So I wrote it down today because my mind is just kind of all over the place at this moment. So I was like, I'm gonna lose train of thought. So my question is, and I have this, so I don't know if anyone else does, but after your stroke, are you scared that you're going to have another stroke? And if you are, is it constant or is it something that in time just comes, like in waves, or it's just passed by after time? Or are you very laid back and are like, nope, no fear at all. I'm not scared about having another stroke. So, just wondering kind of the consensus of what other people feel after their stroke. For me, I am scared that I'm going to have another stroke. And I asked my neurosurgeon, I said, what are the chances? And, she feels very good about like where they clipped my vessel, and with all the aftercare, and my shunt looks good. She says that my reoccurrence for another stroke is very slim. I mean, about the same chance as anyone else. So that gave me some, made me feel better. But still deep down, I'm like, I'm still scared because I never thought I was going to have a stroke, period. So I don't know, is this going to happen again? So I have that. I'm like still in the infancy of a stroke. So I am scared. It's not every single day, every single second. I'm not obsessing about it, but like there are things that happen, which leads me to my next thing is, when there's like sensations that you feel, does that like trigger you like, oh my God, I'm having another stroke or something's going on? Um, for my stroke, I had that rubber band snap and then immediately the neck pain and then projectile vomiting. So I feel like I have a good like understanding of what that type of stroke feels like. But I do get this pressure and tension, and also with my shunt, with a malfunction, the warning signs. Um, you should look it up, like what a warning sign of a BP shunt malfunction is. How are you supposed to know that it is a malfunction versus like you just have an upset stomach, or like, there's so many things. I even brought that up to my neurosurgeon. I said, how am I gonna know? And she's like, you just you don't. I mean, I guess there's just got to be a lot of combinations. I guess for me, like out of the whole list that they have on there for me, like I'm like the slow speech. That will be my indicator that I know that I'm having a malfunction with my shunt, is if I start like slowing down on my speech. So I looked it over. Upset stomach. I feel like I have that constantly, like upset stomach. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the drain. I don't know if it's just like everything going on, but I just constantly feel sick to my stomach. And like there's factors in my life right now which I will not go into, that are stressing me out right now. So um, that kind of triggers that feeling of being scared when I've got like stress. So I didn't know if you guys have the same thing. Like if like you have like a little headache, or um, you're just not feeling right, are you normal, and are like, oh, I don't feel good today? Or are you scared, like, okay, it's just another stroke? And then, what methods do you use to help you out? So this is more of a question for people who had a stroke like a long time ago. Like, did it get better in time, and like what methods did you do to like kind of self-talk yourself out of it? So, I guess that's kind of an answer, self-talk. But I am just kind of looking at a little guidance of like, does it get better? Or does it depend on the individual? Because there's some people who are just laid back and are like, like I said, just like, meh. And then there's people like me who are overly analytical. Like, I overanalyze everything to a T. So for every little sensation I feel, I start, like, I get scared and I'm like, oh God. But then I quickly talk myself out of it. So that is progress. So, and then, has that led to you to be scared about other things? Like, so this happened. Do you feel like you are scared of like other things now, like other health issues? Like, not a none of us thought we would have a stroke, and it happened. So like, are you fearful that something else could happen? Is there like more layers being added onto being scared, like some other medical problem is? Or are you just kind of like, I had my stroke, I'm focused on that and my recovery, and I'm not really thinking, like of other things that could happen? So I'm trying to gauge that too. So, and also being scared of other things doesn't just apply to medical, but life situations as well. So, having this stroke and having to see doctors constantly, and the medications that I'm on, I depend on my health insurance. So I have this irrational fear that I'm like gonna lose my job constantly, and I don't know why I'm not gonna lose my job, but like I'm extra scared now because like I'm like, I cannot lose my insurance. So there's no reason for me to fear this, but because I went through this, now I'm scared. So, it's also a financial aspect too of losing that health insurance bit of it too. So, it's not just that, and then, just being scared in general of like what life looks like. I don't know. So that's pretty much my topic of the day is, feeling scared about having another stroke, and how strong is that feeling, and does it eventually get quiet, and do you have other fears, and do certain things that like happen, like headaches, does that trigger like something in you to be more vigilant? So for me, my goal right now is that I want to be vigilant at all times about my health, but I don't want to be vigilant to the point where it's overtaking my life. So for me, I have laid out every single brick possible that I need to work through. And that's the purpose of why I started my blog, was to talk about each one of these bricks. It's like a huge wall. So, with my blog, I'm like removing a brick. And now I'm doing this where I'm talking and it's, removing it. So, really, this is therapeutic for me to talk about it. And like I said in my last video, it's just no one really talks about the mental health aspect of it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, you're not crazy for having um, feeling a certain way after you go through medical trauma. I'd be more concerned if you didn't have, like, you know, feeling scared or anxiety or, lost and questioning things. Like, I would be more concerned if you didn't, because, like, I mean, what pill are you taking to be like, cool, I envy you. That must be nice. So, share that piece. How'd you get to be so relaxed? So, I think my issue is, like I said, I'm just very analytical. And I am, my goal, like, I hit my 1 year mark at the end of January. So I'm trying to gather as much information as possible because I want to start a foundation, and I have other projects that I'm doing, and I'm just trying to get like a sense of, like, is this just my journey, or is this all of our journeys of what we're going through? So, and I know that each one of us are completely different on how we handle situations. So, we're not all, going in a straight line. We're all going in different paths. And, it just depends on, how far along you are on your stroke. You could be 5 years out and feel like you've got it managed. You could be 5 years out and feel like I still feel lost. You could be fresh to this and, hey, you haven't even encountered this stuff yet, which is what I'm hoping to do. Is like what I hope to do is, like, for people who just have a stroke and they're looking for some kind of not medical advice, but just, like, the process of a stroke, of recovering, and, the mental aspect of it. Like, I want someone to be able to have something to look at and be like, I don't feel so alone, because I don't know if anyone else felt that way, but I did. I felt so alone in, the beginning stages, and then I discovered a community, like, thank God for hashtags, with stroke and all those other things, because it led me to everyone else, to watch everyone else. And I don't think, Facebook has, they have Facebook pages where, for stroke, which is good, but I mean, I feel like, in my opinion, there's some great stuff that comes out of it, but I feel like people use it as like a medical advice, as in, like, do I need to go to a hospital? And I don't like that. Like, that shouldn't be done. Like, you shouldn't be asking people, should I go to a hospital? If you feel like you gotta go to the hospital, go to the hospital, call your doctor. But if you want to, like, empathize and sympathize with someone, that's what's great. And that's why I like Instagram better as a platform. because I think it's a better way of connecting people through the hashtags, and then you get to then you start following people and follow who they follow, and so you get like a wide variety of how everyone's doing. So I think Instagram actually is one of the best platforms for this. So I mentioned that in one of my podcasts, that I feel Instagram is really great, and you know, it's a good way to get your message out. So, anyways, topic of the day: scared, fear, feedback. You can put it under here. You can go to my YouTube channel where I'll post this. You can go to my brainstrokevoyage.com, because I'll put the video directly in there. You can make a video message to me, or you could say nothing. Hopefully you get something out of it. So anyways, I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'm not sure, I have it laid out like my topics, so I'm hoping tomorrow might be like a little more upbeat. So this is, not so upbeat, but trying to mix it around a bit. So anyways, hopefully you get to know my personality too as we go along. I'm very I make fun of myself constantly, so you'll notice that I always make fun of myself. So anyways, I hope you guys have a good night, and if you do any feedback, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and overall, just I appreciate you guys in general. So you guys are my strength, and you guys have made things so much better for me. So just wanted to do a thank you. And clicker didn't work again, so gotta do it the old-fashioned way.